The NPP caucus Eddie Nkunyum Jubilation all over Supreme Court ebusuafo say me twa Supreme Court infoni achewa obehu say the member of parliament metimaka say omuni na almost 135 nini na NPP ababe PM Supreme Court nini na ejina enrada ruling na speaker backben edebabe to just 4 parliamentary seats were declared vacant amenemo ka say Supreme Court 5 panel judges presided by a Justice Gertrude Torkornoo say asema na say ruling na backben de babe to dwano omoso adane na say ameno mo ka say omo betimi edi omudwuma as member of parliament until say ye beto abanawi na busafo be hwa before say honorable Afenyomakins this petition ebeko Supreme Court no na wadi kind de substantive application edi kan ko concerning a ruling na backben edebabe to dwa na yendim hawa backben esi boycott this application submitted to court na or the rulings in edebabe to dwa enra da jese ye twen sere ne abasa okuro yi mu a in fact NPP enya abotre ama Supreme Court the final ruling etimi ababe to dwa ye anigye ewo the NPP caucus na se me ne mo ka se obi afre ne correspondent ewo Supreme Court a nigye mu nina no MPs enem ensem kakra course wo ho ode eba besome.
Hello,
yes Otemenka.
So what has yet happened in the Supreme Court is that the Supreme Court presided over by Chief Justice Gertrude Torkornoo 5-0 unanimously. They have decided to stay the decision of the Chief of Parliament declaring forces vacant. The court said real issues of natural justice, as in these 4 MPs, were all not given a fair hearing yet, and so the matter also has to do with representation. They have been to represent their constituents, also not taking cognizance of. And see, even though the lawyers for Alexander Afenyomakins asked for an interim injunction of 10 days, the Supreme Court, in their wisdom, panel chaired over by the Chief Justice herself, decided to grant the injunction until the full determination of the suit. And so what they have done now is to restore the status quo. That is, all those 4 members of parliament have been directed to actually allow them to perform their duties as members of parliament until the full determination of this suit. The case was made by Afenyomakins and his lawyers, led by Bakwesi Abedu and Jogate Aomuba Court, and there to make the case that these are serious issues, that they do not believe the Speaker of Parliament had the power to act the way he purported to have acted. And the Supreme Court has largely agreed with them, so much so that they have given them more than they requested for. They requested for 10 days interim injunction. Court now granted the injunction up until the full determination, but they have made some consequential orders that the Speaker of Parliament and the Attorney General must file their statement of case in 7 days. On the filing of the statement of case in 7 days, all the parties should have to find a joint memorandum in 7 days so that the matter will be expeditiously delivered.
What it now means, ne say MPs, were all the 4 MPs not present at the Supreme Court?
No, they were not. In fact, this action was not started in their name. Afenyomakins filed this action as a citizen of Ghana.
As a citizen of Ghana, okay.
About a breach of the Constitution.
Of the Constitution, that's fine.
In his words, allegation.
That's fine.
So that is what he came to court to do. The court has granted that, and the court has directed Speaker of Parliament and Parliament as an institution to allow these 4 MPs to do their work, because the Supreme Court also did what they call the balance of probabilities, to say that ultimately, if this case is decided and it ends up in the favor of the Parliament of Ghana and the Speaker's ruling, the Speaker can just go ahead and enforce the ruling.
Yeah.
But if it goes against the Parliament of Ghana, by which time these members would have been denied the right and opportunity to represent their constituents, that would be irreparable damage, for which reason they balance the probabilities and have granted an injunction.
A balance of convenience. Balance of convenience. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's okay. What it means, they say, and I don't know, was the Parliament of Ghana represented by a council?
No, this was an ex parte application.
Ex parte, okay.
That it is only the lawyers for the applicants who were heard in court, and that is why they actually asked for 10 days, because the normal learning is that ex parte injunction of this sort only subsists for 10 days, after which you come for a repeat on notice. But the court, in its own wisdom, decided that this is a very important matter, for which reason they have granted it up until the end of this case and the full determination is done.
Video now was sending me who lawyer Jogate in the full robe. On representing Afenyo Makenana.
He was part of the legal team. He did not make any arguments in court, but he was seated right beside Pakwesi Abedu, the same lawyer that is representing Richard Alaska in the anti-LGBTQ case. Okay. But he was here as part of the legal team, but did not make any representation in court today.
Very well. Kweku, my nasi bibiani a yebesi aba bedi nkomo bi. Kweku asante ene yete nenka reporting live from the Supreme Court. So opese wo pictures and as videos from the Supreme Court ene Oba Asempa FM ye in live stream on YouTube, especially and Facebook and so ube videos where ye fresh videos from the Supreme Court are MPs no led by Honorable Alexander Kwame Afenyo-Markin, who is actually the plaintiff in this particular suit no bar MPs ni nyina edinachi enti MPs no no oba obehu videos no of how Neoma AC echo enti Evans Mensah ewa head of the political desk or Joy News. Evans, yes, I'm on for Kabo officially me ma as in SMP. But it's interesting. I mean, how things can change with this speed. I don't know if this would bring about a constitutional crisis in our country. How Parliament will react. Especially the speaker, how he would react to this particular issue. No?
Yeah, because the Parliament will reconvene on Tuesday.
Oh, they reconvene on Tuesday. Okay.
They adjourned yesterday to Tuesday.
Yes.
And they advertised business from when they were going on the break. And they said, Omoba, Omoba elected second deputy speaker.
Yes.
That's I say, and they say, Mano, now come replace on Tuesday.
Yes.
Now almost started the process to reconstitute the committees.
Okay.
So on the back of this, no, then so status quo. Afenyo-Markin is back to be majority leader. But you can expect a speaker would like to have a say.
A say on
definitely. For me, the big issue they say, what say would he have?
What would he
say? When
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, you're trying now, Supreme Court, you're trying for the determination. Okay, sir. Afenyo-Markin file, I don't know.
Yes.
You took that school of thought, sir. Once the process has been commenced, it's a stay. It acts as a stay.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
And I speak a disregard there.
Because even amongst legal or not say senior lawyers, no, there is still a debate on that whether the mere filing of an application automatically act as a stay. There is a huge debate on that. There have been cases from the Supreme Court, some from the Court of Appeal, disagree. There is no common position even on that, and that's why I think Afenyo was advised to then file the injunction application proper. You understand, rather than relying on you filing that substantive application for that application to act as a stay, then let me now go and file the injunction application.
And then the second
proper.
question, of fair.
Yeah.
Can the court injunct Parliament in the exercise of its constitutional powers?
That's a whole big way. It's a whole big,
for me, where Speaker stands on that question would really determine whether we're going to have a constitutional crisis or we're just going to wait for the Supreme Court to determine.
But you can also look at it from the angle, say, can the court overturn something done by Parliament?
Exactly. That's a political question.
Political question. But which was done in the case of Justice Abdullahi and the Attorney General on the Courtroom issue and whether the budget was approved or not approved.
Interesting.
You remember?
And then let me take Professor Buchi.
Yes.
Now, I said there's a 40-year jurisprudence where the courts have refused.
Yes. To interfere
in the affairs of Parliament.
But when you read Abdullahi as Attorney General extensively, Justice Yoni Kolendi gave a very interesting ruling. Emma saw historical antecedents when we were a parliamentary democracy to when we are now a constitutional democracy and the effect of it. You know, it's a I think it's a ruling, a judgment. It was any a kind. Very interesting next few days, especially on Tuesday, what the Speaker of Parliament would say, and also what the Constitution says about a ruling of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And when you fail to, and I say you disregard a ruling of the Supreme Court, the consequences thereof, and also constitution.
And that's an interesting one too.
Yeah.
Because for a speaker who is number 3,
yes.
So number 4,
yes,
is stopping number 3 from.
But you know, sir, even the ruling of a Supreme Court, the number 1 cannot even disregard it, because the number 1, if you disregard,
it's ground for impeachment.
Grounds for impeachment.
So it applies to number 3.
Number 3 as well. It's very interesting next few days. Yeah, but I think again in Sono, Yama buy because of an issue. I was following this and I'm like because I heard Honorable Afenyo Markin speak about say you're treating unfairly. I don't know what's really the issue.
Mr. Mintiasia, up until last few minutes, Supreme Court injuncted process.
Yes.
I injuncted the execution of the Speaker's ruling.
Yes.
For all intents and purposes, the Speaker's ruling was the law in Parliament.
Of course.